Hi, this is my first video ever, and I never thought it would be about hair loss during chemotherapy, but sure, what can you do? I wanted to make this video just to bring light just to the stigma attached to hair loss during chemotherapy. You know, for women, it's probably the biggest emotional side effect. Definitely, it makes you feel like very unattractive. Your self-esteem can plummet right down. There was a woman opposite me when I was in for my first cycle, and she was just saying like how she didn't feel like a woman, didn't feel like a man, she didn't know how she felt. And it was really, really sad to see. I had still my hair at that point, so I was like, I could never feel like that, naive as anything. So like it's just mad how society reacts. It's just such an awkward situation. Like, people either like ignore you because they don't want to bring light to it, or else they stare at you. It's funny because like it doesn't bother me, so I kind of laugh at it, and have a little joke. But for some people, it can be like extremely intimidating. And kind of makes you not want to go out at all. So when I found out that I would definitely have hair loss, at one of the doctor's appointments, for doctors it's very trivial for them. It's not a physical illness. They don't really mind. They're trying to treat the cancer. So it's very hard hearing that you will lose your hair. So I got my hair cut off short, just in anticipation of it. I thought it was better to lose 1 inch hair than 13 inches. I think I had like, real thick full hair. So I went and got it chopped up. It didn't bother me too much. I just kind of put the whole situation aside and said, I'm getting a new hairstyle. And I quite liked the hairstyle. So I was kind of happy enough, like it was okay at that point, you know. So I got my treatment, and then I was looking good. My hair wasn't budging at all, and I was thinking maybe I'll get away with it. Maybe I'll get to the second cycle, another few weeks. And then one morning I got my shower and that was fine. And I was going for lunch, so I was straightening my hair and I was straightening it and it just kept coming with it. So it is heartbreaking. My stomach just dropped, and I wanted to cry, but I just kind of said no. This is what happens. This is what you have to do to get better. It's just something that you have to just go with. So for the next few days, I didn't budge. My hair was kind of falling out. It started to fall out, and it's kind of annoying. And I started getting maybe a bit conscious that there'd be little strands while I was talking to people. So then that's when I decided on this Sunday, um, during the second half of the All Ireland final, that I would just shave it off. I got my brother-in-law to come up. He done a great job, but it's just not prepared for it. I just kind of closed my eyes and just waited for him to finish. I didn't even want to look at it. I put my headscarf back on and just went to my room and just kind of cried for the evening. So it was only nighttime that I actually kind of looked in front of the mirror, and it was horrible. I just felt horrible. But slowly I showed my mummy, I showed my sister, and they were laughing at me because I look like my brother now. But they were kind of like, it kind of suits you. And as I kind of was looking in the mirror, I was kind of like, what, let's rock this. Kind of as I went along. Like, I woke up the next morning and looked in the mirror again and was like, oh, okay, what will we do with this? How can we fix this? So I started putting on my makeup, and as I was doing it, I actually started to really enjoy it. I've been buying like great chemical free products, and it felt great going on, and I realized I just have actually a blank canvas to work with. You know, you have your eyes still, you have your lips still. You can like experiment with different colors. Now I can wear pink because it doesn't clash with my red hair. You know, you start to see like different things that, you know, can work if you let it, you know. It's all about, I think, embracing it. It's a crap situation, but you know, you can make the most out of it if you want to, and if you stay positive, and if you try, you know. So like I actually really like it now, to be honest with you. You know, I went up to see my housemates there last night, and you know, I heard them coming in from work, and I was up in my room, and I was like, will I put on my headscarf or will I not? I looked in the mirror, I was like, no, do you know what? I actually like this. So I went down and they loved it, and we were messing there, feeling me head, you know. And it's once you feel confident in yourself, I think that radiates out and people don't mind as much, you know. For strangers or for people I don't know as much, that will be a new tackle, you know. To It takes a lot of confidence to walk down the street and not mind people kind of double taking or kind of, you know, waiting for you to leave the shop so they can talk about you, you know. But just, you are beautiful. Feck them. You know, you're probably still better looking than them with a full head of hair. So it's all about you making the most out of something, you know. You know, I made this video just to give a bit of hope to girls and women out there that don't feel great. You know, there's great programs out there. There's the Look Good Feel Better program, you know, that's associated with the Cancer Society. I am going to go the next time, and I can't wait. They can show you how to do your makeup lovely, you know, with no eyebrows, with no hair. You know, that's what I can expect to lose them as well in a couple of weeks, but I'll deal with that when I get to it. At the minute I'm just embracing what I have, the look I have, you know. And it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be, you know. And it's just, it's what you make of it. I know I'm saying this again and again, but like I could be in bed crying over it, but I got up, sat, you know, at my locker and just said, what can I do with this? You know, and I'm actually really like it. I love my eyes. My eyes are popping out now, you know. I can just wear different shades of lipstick, you know, different clothes, but lovely clothes that really stands out now, you know, suits my hair, earrings, you know. It's, you can actually still like definitely maintain your beauty. Definitely, you know. So keep trying, treat yourself to a bit of makeup, you know, go out there and, you know, I know you can do it. Definitely you can do it, and don't mind anybody else who's nothing better to do than just stare at you, you know. Don't mind them, you know. Bye bye.